Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to...
The Mile High Game Guys, which we have not said yet.
No, we haven't. Welcome to the Mile High Game Guys.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And welcome to day 2.
Day 2.
Of GenCon.
Yes. Is it day 2? Yes,
yeah.
This was day 2.
Yeah.
All right. I get confused because there was a day 0.
Uh-huh.
And then a day 1.
Yes.
That was very long.
Yes.
And now it's only day 2.
Yes.
Of 4.
That is correct.
We are halfway there.
Yep.
I got drunk the first night.
Yes.
Have not made that mistake again.
No, you did not.
Maybe I'll make that mistake tomorrow.
Yeah, the bottle share is tomorrow, so yes.
Yes, definitely going to make that mistake tomorrow.
Yeah. Is it a mistake, though?
Is it? So we did some stuff today. We started our day a little slow. Ant went off to his tournament for Blood Bowl.
Yep.
He ended up getting the Casualty Cup / second place, but he took the Casualty Cup with his dwarves, who were called the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were the Vanguard.
Oh, the Vanguard. Yes. The Vanguard, because...
They all had guard.
They all have guard. And then he went up immediately against dwarves that were better prepared to be actually competitive and stomped him.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he played halflings, who he then absolutely murdered.
Yes.
He almost pitch cleared them. The only thing that wasn't off was a treeman and another halfling that wasn't getting up. But he can only foul once a turn.
Right. And so yeah, like how the guy was just like, he's safer if he's down.
Yes, because you can only foul the one treeman.
Right.
And then I didn't see who he's playing last, but I remember he was doing pretty well against him.
Yeah, he ended up winning 1-0 on that guy.
Yeah, I think it was elves or...
something.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because we were busy finishing Charterstone.
Yes, we did the last 2 games.
Last 2 games of Charterstone. Game 11 and 12.
Yep.
We won't really go into that. Besides some little bit of final thoughts that we also talked with Jamey, which we'll get to later.
Yes.
That I would play it again, but only at 6 players.
And I would have to be really not busy.
Just really have
Just
nothing else
nothing
going
else
on.
to do to really play it again.
And that's the hard part. Like, when am I going to have time to play Charterstone again at that player count?
At max, yeah, exactly.
With a bunch of people.
Yeah. But obviously, if you did do it, you would want to do the same sort of thing of like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. It wasn't that actually hard to really punch in a bunch of games back to back, and especially like we learned the game out of the rule book. We didn't learn it we didn't watch a video or anything.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty decent, I guess, to get those all out there. And those beginning games are pretty like snappy.
Oh, 100%.
That I think if we went back, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yep.
But we'll get to the final Charterstone thing at some point when Adrian finishes his.
Mm-hmm. Or sometime before that, if he just doesn't.
Maybe we'll just keep kicking him in the nuts until he starts playing.
Yeah.
He wants to do a 2-player.
Him and Megan.
Oh, I don't know, bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be good to have it'd be good to have the perspective of that, but that's a lot of autonomous.
Yes. Yes, it is. Anyway, after Charterstone, what did we do? What did we do after Charterstone? It's been a day.
It's been a day. It's not like we have a whole list of stuff.
I know. We did have what order? I want the order. We can go in any order.
Yeah.
We finished Charterstone, and then we went up to your room to get the recording stuff.
Yes.
We decided not to eat.
Yeah. Which might have been a mistake.
Yeah. Because we finished Charterstone like 1:30 or so. We hadn't even gone to the Expo Hall, and then we roamed the Expo Hall for a little bit. And we went over to CMON, also known as, back in the day, Cool Mini or Not.
Yeah.
They are no longer that.
No, and the thing we saw was not a cool mini.
No, it was a cool Biggie.
Bigature.
Yes. Biggie C.
Yep.
Mr. Cthulhu himself. They had the Bigature from Cthulhu Death May Die.
Yeah.
The one that they used a toddler for reference, size reference.
Yep.
They had it. They had a guy there. You could pick it up. You could touch it. You could feel its squishy bits, which was also its butt.
Yeah, it was. It was taut yet malleable.
That is correct.
Yeah. Because it was made of a whole bunch of different...
Yeah, they used different materials on different parts of the bigature to, like, the base was big, but it was hollow. That used, like, soft plastics in some parts, like harder plastics in others, depending on what detail they needed in certain areas, or what, like, weird cysts and gross things that they needed in there. Whatever part would basically give it the best detail and bang for the buck, they did.
Yes.
So you can find a photo of me holding that on literally everywhere at this point.
And I originally was like, all right, Jeff, let's take a picture. Wait, I have to move back in order to get everything in frame.
Up to get everything in frame.
Yeah.
It is huge.
It is huge. They had a painted version of it too.
Then he was like, and then you can go look at the painted one.
Yeah, and we're like, all right, fuck you. We're gonna go see that now.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I think his name is Dan.
Yeah, nice man.
Very nice man.
Dan is a nice man.
Yes. Went and looked at the painted one, just like the wonders of CMON's painting. Whoever they have to paint all over crap also painted this. Like, holy shit, amazing. Their painted stuff looks absolutely amazing. Sometimes it's hard with bigger models like that, especially with how much detail's in there to make it look good, because no one really paints things that big that much anymore. No. To be fair, anything 40K related at this point, as you saw today, is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
There was, what was it called, a Titan or something like that?
Yeah, there was a Warlord, like, I don't know if it was a Warlord Titan, maybe a Reaver Titan. There was a Chaos Titan on one of the 40, it was a Chaos faction on one of the 40K boards. It was near where Ant was playing Blood Bowl. That was probably 3.5 feet tall, maybe 4.
It was pretty big.
It was very, very, very large. And then there was another smaller Titan that was probably 2.5 feet tall that was also on that side. And I guess they were playing the game with that, but I'm like...
Why at that point?
In the lore, like, those kind of Titans would just be like laser beam and just kill everything all the time. The only thing they were really there to fight is other Titans. Which weren't really happening in this game.
Gotcha.
Anyways, giant Cthulhu bigature.
Now, they had, obviously, CMON, they had a lot of other painted minis, too.
They had the Death May Die in their case, painted.
Looked amazing.
Like some of the best minis I've ever seen painted. That game painted looks phenomenal. It probably helps that all the miniatures also look really, really, really good. There's an actual mini version of that Cthulhu, basically. It doesn't have like the big giant pillars or anything like that.
It's before he gets unleashed or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of a mini. It's a miniature version.
Yes.
And then we were kind of chit-chatting with CJ, because he wasn't really familiar with it. CJ, the guy that has done our music and logo and stuff, my BFF forever. That's not right. BFF. The last F already stands for forever.
Yeah.
My BF forever.
Best fucking friend forever.
Best fucking. There we go. Yes. Another guy came up to us because I was explaining it wrong. I was like, "Oh, it's a $150 game, and then for an extra $100 you get the miniature bigature." And he was like, "No, it's $100, and then it's $150 for the bigature." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Which CJ was still like, "It's still a pretty good deal."
Yeah. And then we were chit-chatting about like when you can get it, and I was like, "You too can get this by April 2020." And he was like, "No, actually, we might be redoing some of our manufacturing processes, and might be able to get it out there earlier to people, because there's thousands and thousands of pledges that need it by, like, hopefully the end April 2020."
Yeah.
So that was impressive.
Yes. In their little display case, they had that. They had the Truvong legends, like this.
The Viking lore,
yeah.
Nordic lore game. Champions of Midgard, the miniatures game.
Probably, yeah. I'm sure it'll be exactly the same.
Yes.
And then they also had a blank spot. It was just like
the Dice Tower.
Yeah, and being announced at Dice Tower, because there's a lot of things that were announced at Dice Tower live.
Were, indeed. They had the Starcadia Realms?
Yes,
Starcadia Quest.
Starcadia Quest, yes.
Star Realms, Starcadia.
No. Arcadia in space.
Yes, Arcadia in space. It looks good.
Yes.
They had their...
the Wacky Races.
Wacky Races, which looked decent.
Yep.
They look like cartoons. The Game of Thrones... I'm sorry. Song of Ice and Fire miniatures game.
Get the license right.
Get the license right. It's based off the books, not the TV show.
Yep.
They had a bunch of tables of that being played. The two it was the Starks and Lannisters, and now there's the Free Folk and the Night's Watch.
The Night's Watch, yep.
Which they had in the display case over there. Not painted though.
Nope.
The old stuff they did have painted. The Free Folk and stuff look cool because they have giants, of course.
Yeah, I mean no 2 foot tall mini, but
Yes.
They do what they could.
Yes. It's not no bigatures.
Nope.
Just large models.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to come back later in the day and check out what that space was.
What the mystery was, yep.
Do we just want to talk about the mystery right
Yeah,
now?
might as well.
We're talking about it.
Yeah.
They announced a Bloodbourne, the board game, because with Eric Lang coming to Kickstarter.
Because he did the original card game. So.
Yes, which came out like 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yes, when CJ was here last.
CJ was here last, yes. He loves Bloodbourne so much, I guarantee he's going to buy the crap out of that.
Yeah, I know when we told him that, he's just like,
When
damn it.
When do I spend my money?
Yeah.
No real details on it that we saw.
Nope.
It was just sort of like, hey, here's a box.
Yep. But it was like, oh, okay, that's coming out. There are a lot of little announcements like that.
Yes.
I mean, we might as well just go about those real quick since we heard him.
Yes.
Steam Forged Games, the guys that made Dark Souls, they're doing a Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
That was announced.
Remember the Dark Souls Kickstarter that made a ton of money, and then it came out, and then it was like,
yep.
I don't want to play Dark Souls, the board game, that plays exactly like Dark Souls, the video game, because it involves grinding.
Yes, and that there was a lot of complaints about the Kickstarter fulfillment, too.
Oh, did it take forever?
Yes, and some people are still missing certain things like that. But they did have some of those Horizon minis.
They did.
I'll tell you, those things looked sexy.
Yeah, that had like the scale is pretty small in general.
Yeah.
The T-Rex Thunder Lizard.
Thunderjaw.
Thunderjaw. The T-Rex robot looked good.
Yes.
But wasn't huge.
No.
Which makes me think that this game is going to be affordable.
I mean, obviously that's the hope, but we'll see.
I mean, Dark Souls was still like a $100 game.
Yeah.
And it also made like millions of dollars on Kickstarter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we'll see.
A mini game making money on Kickstarter, I don't believe it.
Weird.
Yeah.
But Horizon. It's an interesting IP.
Yep.
I have not played the game through. I should.
You should.
I've heard it's very good.
Yep.
I've owned it for a very long time.
Yes, you have.
And not played it.
Nope. Let's see what else was announced. The Pandasaurus. They're doing a Machi Koro 5th anniversary.
Yes.
Which is like, okay, that makes sense.
Interesting.
But then
what else did they have?
It was this weird thing that they were doing with Rob Daviau called Machi Koro Legacy.
Oh, boy. boy. I like Machi Koro.
I like Machi Koro as much as the next person that likes dice.
Yeah.
But I don't...
We'll see.
The question is, like, I guess I would have to see what's going to be the legacy about it. That's like, are you going to be able to change the dice? Are you going to be able to change cards at all?
I assume it's going to be heavily card based.
Yeah.
Maybe like buildings that you can build, like your skyline or
right.
whatever.
Maybe everybody has an actual city that's just their city.
Yes.
And yeah, you can build permanent ones or like temporary things. I know we can make a lot of just random guesses.
Yes, because there was no information given. I know there was a bunch of information released on the Game of Thrones expansion today.
Yes, the Mother of Dragons expansion.
Yes, it's adding a 7th and 8th player.
Yes,
but you don't need to play 7 and 8 to use those two roles.
That
you
is
can
correct.
use them in any order or mishmash of whatever.
Mm-hmm. And they showed the sideboard and the fact that the Targaryens they don't care about let me just take control of 7 strongholds.
Yes.
It's that they just, like, they're trying to find the hidden loyalist of the 7 realms.
Okay.
5 realms. It's been, I don't know.
It's 7.
It is 7?
Pretty sure it's 7.
Okay. Well, I got it right the first.
7 kingdoms.
7 kingdoms, yes.
Were brought under control by the Targaryens.
Exactly.
Thousands of years.
Hundreds,
I don't remember.
it's like 3, yeah.
Like at least 3 years.
At least 3 years ago. Because that's like how old the dragons are, I think. So it's and they've always had I
think it's thousands.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of the dragons.
Well, no, it was 3. It was 3. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's Game of Thrones.
It's Game of Thrones.
It's actually Game of Thrones.
It is actually Game of Thrones,
the TV show.
Yes.
Not the books.
No. But they're looking for, like I said, they're looking for the loyalists, and if they find this like 7 in different in different castles or something like that,
okay,
they win, and they have dragons.
Yeah,
because they do.
Of course,
but
she would.
She would, but you can't build dragons, obviously.
Duh.
And once they die, they're dead.
Fair enough.
Yep. It also introduced the Iron Bank of Bravos.
Okay.
That basically you can take a loan out to get certain things from them, like extra units, or even like hire faceless men to kill like knights and stuff like that.
Okay.
But then, and you have to pay for it with power tokens.
Yeah.
And as the contracts stay out longer, it goes from like 7 tokens to 4 tokens to 1 token, so it gets really cheap.
Okay.
But then you have to then pay the interest of a power token each round. And if you can't do that, then...
It's because it's like a loan.
Yeah. Finance.
Yeah, finance.
That's what we were missing
in Game of Thrones. Finance.
Yes.
Hooray.
They can help fund your enemies and stuff like that. So that seems pretty cool.
Okay.
And then they also added changes for less than 6 players. Now you get...
Because it seemed like if you didn't play with 6, fuck playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You played with vassals, which were basically like if you weren't playing with Martells, they become a vassal that you can try and sort of get their loyalties and have them help you attack, and they use different cards than the regular Martells use.
Okay.
But then if somebody else gets their loyalties, it's like, oh, like you don't want to get like super buddy with them, have them be like all in your territory, because it's like, oh, actually we're with the Starks now, so we're just gonna fuck everything up if that's okay.
Yeah.
Please, it's cool, right? If I'm just gonna stab you until you die, it's fine,
cool.
right? Yeah.
That's great. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
I like that plan.
Yeah. But I'm definitely interested in that one.
Yeah, everyone seems to.
Yes.
Like it must have expansion.
Yeah. Anything else?
We discovered that Fantasy Flight already announced all their bullshit.
Yes.
We finally were like, oh, the in-flight report was totally Wednesday, and that's why Arkham got
Yep.
announced and all that shit. We're like, man, that's crazy shit. They must have crazy shit coming out like Friday.
Nope.
Oh, no, we're retarded.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's stuff that they had. I feel like we saw a couple more announcements too.
Well, there was another announcement announced about indie boards and cards.
Yes, that's what it was.
Indie boards and cards and Stronghold games are merging into indie board games.
Indie game studios.
Indie game studios. That's right. So yeah, the wide world of the dystopian universe and Resistance.
Yep.
And Coup are merging with the Terraforming Mars and Indian Summer and.
Yep. It still sounds like they're going to be their own companies.
Yeah.
But it's basically like Asmodee.
Under one umbrella.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah. And technically it was another one too that Indie Boards already acquired, Action Phase Games or something like that.
Yeah, they're just going to get rolled into the whole big to-do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But.
And then Stephen Bonacore is going to start ruling the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty big.
Yes.
We did go by Indie Boards and Cards, and we were just kind of like looking around. I forgot that I loved Aeon's End so much.
Right.
They had a box for Aeon's End Legacy. I think it was the same box we saw at Geekway. It's
Probably.
just a black box.
Yeah.
And we demoed a game called Don't Mess with Cthulhu.
The Deluxe Edition.
Deluxe Edition.
Yep.
It seemed like it was like a little $25, $30 game, maybe 20.
I think it was 25, 20, like somewhere in that range. Social deduction game.
It's from Indie Boards and Cards.
I know, they're breaking new grounds.
Yes. You are... it's social deduction. You have cultists and investigators. There, depending on the player count,
yes,
you have a Cthulhu card in the deck.
Yeah,
which is
just
a
the
different
one.
size.
Yep. Depending on the amount of players.
And then, like, we play with 5 players, so we needed 5 Elder Signs.
We were playing with 6 players.
We were playing with 6 players, so we needed 5 Elder Signs.
6 Elder Signs.
We needed 6 Elder Signs.
The amount of players.
I keep forgetting that the demo person was also playing.
Yes.
We had 6 players.
I know you don't like treating salespeople like people, so I get it.
I know. I was one of those for so long that I'm just like, I'm going to treat them all like shit because I know exactly how it was.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
You do that job and you're like, they are garbage.
Yes. So we needed to get 6 Elder Signs, and then there was 1 Cthulhu in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And there was supposed to be 2 cultists and 4 investigators, which then ended up being
3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Because I actually saw her deal for 4 investigators and 3, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You can have a mix, but like it'll be between 3. No, she just messed it up.
Gotcha. But they're trying to find the 1 Cthulhu. And then you have an equal amount of cards. So 6 times 6, there was 36 cards for everyone.
There were 30 cards. 5.
There was 5.
That was the 5.
That was the 5 I was hunting for. It was 5 times 6. And then everyone gets them all. You look at all of them, and then you put them out, all 5 in front of them, out in front of you. And if you're an investigator and you have the Cthulhu in there, well, you want to give everyone notice of like, hey, I have an Elder Sign.
Well, basically what it is that you just you can say anything you want about your cards. You can be like, I don't have anything, because a lot of those cards are just nothing. You can be like, I have, but you can also lie, obviously. So if you have 5 Elder Signs, you could just be like, I don't have anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're a cultist, because you don't want the investigators to find those.
No, but you want them to find the Cthulhu.
Yes.
And if you're an investigator and you get the Cthulhu, you might want to be like, oh, I don't have anything, because if you're like, oh, I have an Elder Sign, but I also have the Cthulhu, if anyone picks the Cthulhu, it's gone.
It's game over.
So you have a little flashlight that you kind of point at the card. You flip the card, and then you lay them out. You do that 6 times.
Because we were playing with 6 players.
Yep. And that's kind of like the round timer.
Yep.
A lot of them are nothing, but they can come out as the Elder Signs, and then we needed 6 of those.
Yep, you had to find all of them.
But I kept getting, I was an investigator, and I kept getting the Cthulhu over and over again.
Wait, but before that happened, what happened at the very instant of the game?
Almost instantaneously, I was like, everyone, don't trust Zach.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit, and he will lie his ass off this whole game, and trust nothing he says. And for the rest of the game, no one chose you ever.
Yeah, it was. I was like,
for anything.
Yeah.
No one trusted you immediately.
Yeah.
And
rightfully so. I was a cultist.
He was a cultist.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you ever have the
first time I did. Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, nope, fuck Zach. I know what he's doing. But then I ended up with the Cthulhu like 3 times.
Yep.
But I would also have Elder Signs, but I'd be like, I have nothing. I don't have anything. Don't pick me. Please don't pick me.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be like too much. Please
No,
don't pick me. Or
because
the
then
cultists
the cultists
are
will
going
be
to be
like,
oh, I need to pick you because you clearly have the.
Yeah, you're clearly a cultist. You have to have Elder Signs over there. I'm going to go looking for him.
But when you point the flashlight in front of someone, they flip that card. But then that person that got chosen gets to pick the next person to get looked at, and so on. So you can kind of keep bouncing it between people you trust.
Yes.
But then after you've gotten the 6 cards, you shuffle all the cards back up together and then deal 5 out to each other.
Yep.
And then you do another round, and then you deal, and then you just keep collecting everything up and shuffling everything around.
Until you find them, until you either find all the Elder Signs or the Cthulhu.
Yep. It was a pretty basic game, but there was some like bad Elder Signs that you could find.
Well, Necronomicons. But we weren't playing with them. So we don't know exactly how they worked.
No.
But
and then there was some event cards that you could pick in there as well. That is more like expert variant modes and stuff.
It seemed like something pretty interesting. Like if you could get into it.
Yeah.
But if you were like very mechanical with how it worked, I could see people just be like, "This is boring."
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of those social interaction games.
Yeah. It's who you play with more than anything. And then we saw Tom.
Well, and I just want to say that was the Deluxe edition.
Yes.
This was their GenCon release for it, but they did have a Kickstarter.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Then Tom showed up and started touching my hair.
Yep.
I didn't see who it was. I was going to think it was Ant, because that seems like something Ant would do. But then it was Tom, who I didn't know was going to show up.
Yep. Who knows everybody?
Friend who literally knows everyone.
Uh-huh.
Like he knew like the one of the ladies that was up there showing us the game.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, of course you know someone here. He's a friend of the show. Friend of Mark, my friend. And that's kind of how I know Tom, who knows everyone. That's what his name is. Tom : knows everyone.
Yeah.
And then they were even playing in our hotel lobby while we were out eating.
Yes.
With Katie.
From Katie's Game Corner.
From Katie's Game Corner. What were they playing?
It was PAX Pamir? I think Pamir?
Pamir?
Pamir. PAMIR? Something like that.
Sure.
PAX something. I'm sure people who know those games are like, it was because it wasn't PAX Renaissance. I know that.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we ran into her on our way back from eating.
Yeah, because
it was the first time we met.
Yeah, because we were eating and it was like, oh, she's because we kept going by the her booth she was at.
Like,
nope, not here. And then we're just like, oh, she's over here. We should go see her after we're done eating. And then we're leaving Kilroy's.
Yes.
Shocker.
Yep.
And then we see her, and she was actually heading to Kilroy. So
yes,
it
for
worked
like
out
a Kickstarter meeting thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck. It was very busy there.
Yes. Yeah. Very much so. But we talked with her a little bit. It was great.
Yeah, a little chit chat.
Yep. And we're going to try and do something tomorrow.
Yes. Get hammered.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's
Saturday. It's time.
It's time. Yes.
It's time.
You've been saving up these past 2 days.
Oh, yeah. So we chit chatted with her, and then we went. We're gonna go back to the con.
Yep.
That was after hours. But now we're gonna go back to the convention during the exhibit hall hours.
I'm just like this recap's very Christopher Nolan. That like time is just.
We're going back and forth.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just yes.
Yep. Yep.
It's very Dunkirk.
Yes.
Let's fuck with time because I don't know. I'm Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
We saw Werewolf Legacy.
Yes, we did.
You mainly saw Werewolf
I
Legacy.
mainly saw it because I'd asked Wes.
You know way more about it than I do.
Yeah. Yesterday I was like, Wes, do they have that? And he was like, yes. And I was like, cool. And I never saw it.
Yeah.
And so today I made a concerted effort to actually go look at it.
Mm-hmm. We started off concerned of the price.
Yes.
$60.
$60. And I was like, well, it seems like a lot. I picked it up. And it's a big box. It's like
big box,
board game box sized.
Yes.
And I was like, that's big for a werewolf.
Yes.
And then so I pick it up. I look at it
because
I look at it and it says includes like an 80-page diary, and I'm like, wait, what? And there's this big leather bound
book, like
book.
gold foil edges.
Right next to it, because I thought that was some sort of like promo sort of thing. No, that's
just sort of like a marketing whatever.
Yes.
Like, here, look at this cool werewolf
no,
thing we made.
That's basically that's the
game.
legacy game. And so much so that if you want to do a recharge pack of it, you just get another diary.
And that's it.
And that's like $30 for it. So, but it's Werewolf, and it's
split up into sessions and chapters.
Yes, there are 5 chapters in an entire game, and each chapter is broken down into 3 sessions.
Yes.
And there's, we opened up that book. We were looking at a lot of stuff. There's a whole shitload of stickers in there, and
we didn't even notice we noticed the stickers that were peeled out.
Yes.
But as you went through, I couldn't even see the stickers. They were so well meshed in with all the rest of like the wording and stuff like that I didn't even know you could peel one off. I'm sure that there was some person who spent like 10 hours just lining all of that up, just making sure it looked flush as possible. I doubt it was handcrafted.
Yes. Yeah.
No wonder it's $60.
Yeah, exactly. It's didn't you see the bespokeness of it?
Oh, so bespoke. Bespoke bloodstains on the front.
Yes. But yeah, like that made me go like, oh, now I want this, because apparently there's family members in the game and stuff like that, and you can add stickers to cards to make them like have titles and things like that.
Goes up to 15 players and a moderator.
And you want the same moderator for like each session or each chapter.
Yes.
And you really want the same people in the same chapter too, but you can switch in and out between chapters.
And then each session lasts about as long as a werewolf game does.
Yes. Which luckily, if you're only doing up to 15, those don't go nearly as long as even when you go up to like 20.
Yeah.
So.
It seems interesting.
Yes.
David kind of did a deep dive
Yeah,
in the rule book.
Especially because he moderated a lot, so he was looking through.
I'm not sure I was around when the David moderation was happening.
Gotcha.
Or really the Werewolf in general. But everyone seems to love it, part of the game group. He was like, eh.
Yeah. It was cool, but it didn't seem to be worth the price.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, but if they had like a paper diary instead, it was $40, he'd be more interested.
Gotcha. It doesn't need to be as fancy as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but does it need to be this cool?
No, yeah. Every day, it's just, he's like taking much longer to do. He's APing a lot more, and he's like, oh, these are overproduced. He's getting a lot closer to Adrian. I'm not liking it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He's going to stop liking Synthwave and start liking Nickelback. That's the next step.
No, I think that's going to be the final step. If that happens, then we're like, oh no, he is changing.
We are hashtag intervention.
Yes. So we saw that one. That was cool. And then...
We should mention David was dressed as Jon Snow all
Yes,
day.
he was.
He got at least 16 King of the Norths today, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and he even got a picture with the girl who was who was Arya, basically. Looked really good.
Street urchin Arya.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was sweating his everything off.
Yes.
Because that looked hot.
We went back and took everything. He took everything off, and he's like, "I need to hang all this up." And I was like, "Why?" Because it's all wet from sweat. And I was like, "Gross."
Yeah. It sort of looked like he was just peeling things off.
There was many layers.
Yeah.
And it is hot in Indianapolis.
Yeah. So pretty much after all that, we went. Well, like I said, like at some point during all that, we went to go talk to Jamey.
Yes. On the way to talking to Jamey, we stopped by the Blizzard booth.
Yes.
I chit-chatted with a nice man about kind of what they were doing there.
Because it was their second time being there, ever.
Yes. And I didn't realize that the first time they were there was when they released the
trading card game.
The World of Warcraft trading card game with Upper Deck. And I was like, oh my God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So they were there mainly with Hearthstone. They had like a big fire hearth and a bunch of tables with little challenges and stuff on them, and then, which I don't know what those really were. But
I don't really know what those were, but they did have a lot of computers for people who didn't know the game.
They had demos and stuff set up with like decks, and he called them God accounts. So all the decks everyone was using were all golden decks. Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy.
Way to give people's hopes up.
Yeah, you're not going to see this many gold cards.
Yeah.
And then they're doing the Fireside
challenges.
Fireside gatherings.
Gatherings, yeah.
And you can get like a hero portrait for doing that, as well as I think there's a card back you can get. And that's just where you're playing on the same Wi-Fi network with everyone and just sort of like doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went off to talk with Jamey Stegmeier.
Which you're going to hear at some point. It's going to be, you're going to hear a lot of other people. We were not in a closed-off room with him this time. We were just on a small table.
Yes.
Right next to people demoing his games.
All of the games. I guess it was under construction last year, and that's why they were off in some like smaller, quieter room. This year it was sort of just out with everyone else on a table.
At the Denver room, though.
In the Denver room.
So obviously we made an impression.
Yes, absolutely. We just started knocking things over.
Yep.
We said this is the Denver way.
Yeah, the Denver way, yes.
Yeah. Still a very nice man.
Yes.
This is now my second time meeting him, and my fourth sighting, I think, because I saw him last year, and then at Geekway, and then while I was waiting in the early access press line, he wandered by.
Nice.
And then our second meeting.
Yeah. We might have a chance to see him again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because there's doing a Charterstone thing.
Yeah, he's doing like late night game nights or something like that. It's in his like blog post, but they're doing a cool event where people can bring their completed Charterstones and then sort of swap with other groups and sort of play on someone else's map.
Right.
Just sort of like, hey, how'd these people do?
Yeah. And it's like we think about doing we definitely want to go see it. I don't think we want to bring ours.
Yeah.
But if we do, we'd be like, all right, just want to let you know, don't choose green. That's just a garbage. It's a garbage charter.
Person,
it's fine.
Garbage person. I asked what I I stupidly asked what's the average range of scores. Mine was well under.
Yep.
He was like, yes, like 7 to 9. And I was like,
and what's great is it happened after you told him your score too.
yes. And I was like, mine was 612. What is the average?
7 to 900, and he's like,
and then I did sort of like an arm hooray without saying anything, and I was like, this is a podcast recording, and everyone is laughing, and no one knows why.
Yeah. But yeah, it went well. It went about 30 minutes last time.
They're 30 minutes
exactly
locked in there, and I was like, we have some light spoilers and some heavy spoilers, and I wish we had more time to talk, basically, because I want to know everything.
Yeah.
So we did that. Saw my friend Mark, who was there demoing at the same time slot we were. He was playing My Little Scythe. We have a copy of Root in the possession of Bullshit Paul.
Mm-hmm.
He went and bought Root.
Because he played it yesterday, and he liked it so much that he bought it today.
Yes.
So, from what I remember, he said he thinks he will end up liking it more than Vast, and that it seems like it might be easier to teach than Vast was.
It's not as asymmetric or anything.
It is.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
But it has like cards that tell you what other people do and stuff like that.
I know very little about Root.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that's probably
why. It's cute.
I do love the cuteness.
I still love that hate parody video Root did.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that. That was really good. CJ bought Everdell, which is that kind of like tableau building, cute woodland creature with like a tree that you build.
That's
for
what
the
that
deck
is?
holder. Yeah. We talked about that months ago at this point.
Yeah.
But he bought that pretty much sight unseen. I think he did actually play it, but he bought it.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't think that he would buy it, but loving the metal and death.
Well.
And he's like, oh, cute woodland creatures.
Yes. Oh, heavens.
Oh, heavens, my Betsy. Heavens to Betsy.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
That kind of wraps up all the general stuff until the last thing we did. Mere moments before we came in to record this episode, is we've played a full-ass game of Terraforming Mars.
Yes. First mention.
Hooray.
We played it at GenCon.
Yes.
With a listener.
John.
Yes.
He had messaged me Wednesday night or maybe Thursday morning, like, hey, I'm in town. I heard you want Raxon. I don't. Do you want to give me some merch and I'll just give you Raxon? And I was like, sure, if you want to hang out, we can play. And I guess if you want to give me Raxon, I guess.
Yep.
So we did that. We hung out.
Yep.
I actually finally was like, oh yeah, I was really hungover and or drunk and forgot he messaged me. And so I got back to him later. Super nice guy. Brought his copy of Terraforming Mars with the
all expansions.
All the expansions. I'm not sure if it had all the promos.
Yeah, well, obviously,
maybe not.
He must not be a true fan.
Yes, that must be it.
Yeah. He didn't order a magazine from Europe.
Yes. All the expansions and the broken token insert. It's the first time I played with the broken token insert, I think.
Yeah. No, Paul has it.
I think I haven't played his
Really?
copy before. Okay. It's been a while since I've played. We got to play with Prelude, which was the big new addition. But this also had Venus, and we played on the Elysium board, which is the flip side.
Yep.
It went well for me to begin with.
Because you were actually competitive.
I actually had competitive cards for once.
Yep.
And kind of the only one that went Venus at all. And then I ended up with a really good combo of floaters and stuff. I had like 4 floater cards, 2 that let me put them on anything, and then one of which that would let me draw a card, the other of which would let me increase money production. The other one, you could put them on there to turn it into kind of like a titanium thing, but only for Venus tags. And then another one that I got in later, which was use 2 to raise a Venus rating. So I was sort of just like, I had like a nice, like, I had so many blue cards in that game.
Yeah, well, really what it was is everybody was done, and we're like, all right, Jeff, go do your bullshit now.
It's like, I'm going to do this and this, Is everyone done? I'm gonna do this and this. Is everyone done? I'm gonna do this and this. Is it still everyone's still done? And then I'm gonna do this and this. I had probably 8 to 10 cards that all had like active abilities on it, which treated me well.
Mm-hmm.
I also had one of the new corporations from Prelude.
Yes, I feel like we all did.
I think we may have all, because one of the variants is like, give a Prelude corporation and one of the others, so you can kind of try out the new stuff. Mine was, I get to fund an award as my first action for free. I just get to be like, this is an award that's going to happen this game. And then if I ever played a card that had a victory point symbol on there that was positive, I got 3 money. So which was super useful.
You use that a lot.
Yeah, because I would go for victory point cards, which are worth points at the end of the game, which is useful when you want to win the game.
Yeah, Jeff finally figured it out.
Oh shit! So I've been doing this wrong.
Yeah. He was doing it the CJ way.
The CJ way. CJ had never played before. Probably knew very little of what this game was. Taught it fairly easily and quickly. He did all right.
Yeah.
He was only 31 points behind.
No, but he
21 points behind. He had a gentleman's 50.
Yes, he did.
But we also played with the Prelude cards. The Prelude cards are kind of what shines in this whole thing.
Yeah.
You get 4, and you choose 2, and you do that. There's a lot of them.
Yep.
They do almost everything that you can imagine in any combination.
They all seem overpowered, but in a consistent way.
Yes, because everyone is being powered as well as everyone else is. They can draw you extra cards at the beginning.
Really what it is that because when you play the full corporate era, all of your things are at 0. All of your production is 0 instead of 1. You have to sort of build up. These sort of help you get a little shove to give you a good running start.
Yes, but only in specific areas.
Yes.
Like an extra steel and titanium production, or start with 4 steel and 4 titanium, or start with 30 extra money, but minus 2 money production. Basically everything you can imagine it can do. More money, more plants.
One of the ones I had was get a city. And so it was, they were pretty cool. I liked them a lot.
Stephen Bonacor's on one of the cards. I don't think I looked at that one.
I didn't see it. He's burning money, right?
Yeah, he's burning money like a 100 mega credit bill with a cigar. Lighting a cigar with a 100 mega credit bill. Yeah, I don't remember what exactly that card is, but it's like he's like, it's like, I don't care how much it costs, just put my name on it.
Yep.
Yeah. The end score was CJ with 50.
Yep.
Myself at 71. Zach at 73. I was only 2 points behind.
Yeah, he was within spitting distance of second place.
Indeed. And then John, who we were playing with, got 78.
Yep.
So only like a 7-point range. On
and
that one.
he went a lot heavier in greenery.
Extremely heavy in greenery. And then I just ended up with a ton of money at the end, and I was just like, buy a city, a city, do a greenery tile here, and that really got me a lot of points right there at the end.
It seemed like he was saying that his group. It's always interesting when you have because our group plays a lot together with this game, but we tend to play differently than his group. Like his group is all about the greenery, and it's just always the number one focus if at all possible. And ours is if it works out, we'll go there. But
we all still had very competitive scores.
Yes, we did. So the fact it
also helped that I had the only Venus tags in the game, and then funded the Venus tag award and got that pretty handedly.
With nobody getting second place.
Another one, so there wasn't even a second place. You wouldn't tie for second place at 0, right?
No.
Yeah. You didn't even try.
Yeah. But it actually worked out well because you would have stolen money from somebody who had a Venus tag.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. It was like an asteroid-like thing.
Yeah.
It raises the Terraform rating, but it also takes 4 money away from people. One of the Prelude cards I saw increases temperature a bunch right at the very beginning because it's like a giant asteroid. You slam it into Mars, and it's the flavor text was like, better do this now before people start moving in.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, because it's Prelude.
Yeah.
It happens before. This is all the foundations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's how we ended the evening before we moved here to record this.
Yes.
I
was going to say, successful day.
Successful day. Tomorrow, they're going to be blood bowling all day, so we won't see anyone.
Nope.
We're going to go over to Grey Fox, and we're going to check out some of their games. Like first thing in the morning, their City Gears and Pocket Mars. The Pocket Mars was a GenCon release.
Yes.
And then I kind of want to go back to Indie Boards and Cards and see Exodus Paris Nouveau, which was their GenCon release. It's another dystopian universe game. It seems more gamey game than anything, though.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to trying that one out.
Yep.
I might go poke that guy that I saw at Geekway about Aeon's End stuff.
Yes.
I think I still have his card. I think his name is Steven.
Sounds about right.
We'll find out.
Yes, you will.
And then, I don't know, a bunch of other shit.
Just looking at more things.
Just got to find shit.
And then drinking.
Just put all this shit in the backpack, get it all together.
Mm-hmm. Come on, yeah.
Maybe we'll go see that Pickle Rick game.
Yes.
We saw the Pickle.
We did.
It is large.
Yes, it is.
That game was expensive, though, I remember, right? Like $50-ish dollars?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well.
Yeah. That's my list is complete.
All right. Well, I'm fine with that.
Yes. You're fine with being done.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's day 2.
Day 2. That's it.
Yep. All right.
We can say goodbye now.
Bye.
Bye.